We're on. Hey,
Hey, Nick.
hey,
Nick Williams.
it's a Bobby White.
Welcome to
What?
Clip Session. We are going to be watching a little tiny chunk of Maxie Dorf and Caroline Christi from Bobby McGees.
So this clip, first off, it's one of my favorites of Maxie, and it's earlier than most of what we have of Maxie dancing. So this is like late 70s, early 80s, Bob McGee's, and somewhere around there. I'm not sure the actual time, but you could see there's like an actual like spotlight on the dance floor, which you don't see in some of the later ones. But the energy and the flow and everything in this is just I love it.
It's so good. I can't tell you how many times we just keep watching it over and over and over again. Yeah.
And this the clip that we picked out is one of my favorite moments. There's several things in this of why. Actually, it's a favorite of Bobby's too. And you'll see. We'll jump into it. We'll dive into it.
So we'll show the clip first so you can see it. And I will work some movie magic. So here we go. All right, so that's the chunk we're going to look at. The whole clip is like 4 minutes long, 5 minutes long.
I mean, the yeah, it's a pretty long one because there's stuff of like Helen Marge and then Maxie's in the background dancing with Caroline in different places. I think at some point like Maxie and Hal dance together. There's a lot of moments from this clip, but this is one of the clearest versions of Maxie. There's one a little bit later in the clip that's great for like Maxie's pullback triples, but for swing stuff, this is one of the best moments. The very first part of this is the one that broke my brain. First off, Caroline, we got to meet her and talk last year at Cowbell, 1 year ago, which was great. I got to dance with her. But Caroline's not like an original dancer that we think of, but definitely like learned stuff from Maxie, that they were dating at the time. But definitely when I was talking to her last year, she has like very like distinct memories of things that Maxie told her that back then. But it's still like an amazing dancer, as you could see, and it's a fantastic like duo with this. But that first little bit that Bobby's repeating right now, that little foot roll, yeah. One of the things I love about it is first off, a lot of Maxie's foot rolls are not lead foot roll. So he's doing a foot roll while he's leading something else. Use that little cross. When I mean the foot roll is like right there. That little like that roll of the foot down. Sometimes he's doing that in closed position, sometimes in swing. But just that moment, just that right there, where you see once that leg crosses, you see that front leg bend the back leg, and then it switches where the front leg starts to straighten and the back knee comes over. So right there, that back knee comes up and over, and that cross. Oh, it's just so good. And the way he does it, it's like it's just like it pulls, just like stretches. So you see that moment where it just looks like his entire body and his legs just kind of start to like stretch, elongate as that's happening. And it's so smooth.
Sylvia, when I've taught with Sylvia, sometimes we'll teach this, and it is just so freaking hard, but it is so cool. And Sylvia will do it on me, and it's just like, oh man, what I'm doing is not that.
Yeah, a lot of so like Sylvia, you'll see a lot of Maxie doing foot roll stuff in lessons with Sylvia. So that was like very for me like 20 years ago or something like that, where I was obsessing over things like that. And it's not just the foot roll itself; it's the whole dynamic. The foot roll isn't the hard part; it's the dynamic of that stretch and the elongating without losing rhythm. And keeping the followers flow and rhythm at the same time. So like what Maxie's doing and what he's leading are polar opposites in dynamics. And then, but that's not just the best part. But the next part is that the cross right here, he elongates again. there's an extra stretch, and that whole like tension, the whole tension doesn't release until you
Oh,
fall off the lock,
yeah.
until that boom and that foot flies out for right here. That's where that releases. So everything in Maxie's body is just like stretching, stretching, stretching. Boom, right
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah. When I've tried this, I haven't thought about that second part, but you're absolutely right. It flows right into that.
I love it. I like every once in a while I'll teach this combo. But yeah, it's really hard. It's really hard to get the dynamic. The steps themselves are not difficult. It's the dynamic. And to be able to keep the followers flow consistent the entire time. But because you see he's leading out and in that entire time. So you've got that like
Wow.
out and in, out and boom ba. That last one goes a little bit to the side because he's about to do the kick side to side.
Yeah,
Boom
that
ba.
first out and in is really big and stretchy, and the second one is a lot tighter. Big and stretchy, tighter.
Yeah, and the only reason it's tighter is you see that he's about to go into the side fall off, boom, boom, or
Yeah,
fall on the log, whatever you want to call it.
yeah, yeah.
Um, but there's other ones where, like in other clips where he does things like that, where he'll kind of have a different ending. But this one, because sometimes he's done ones where it ends with a him sliding.
Yeah, when we talk about when we talk about improvisational old timers, Maxie Dorf is like such an incredible specimen of that because like he does stuff, he does the same stuff, but he does it differently every time, and you'll see him do something, and you think you know that move that he's gonna do, and then you'll see him twist it or turn it in some different way than you expected, and so he was obviously dancing by the seat of his pants in that sense.
I mean, most people would say that Maxi was most likely probably the best of all time for swing, Bal-Swing type dancing. Um, there were some great as leaders go. Yeah. Do, do, do. Now with that, yeah, it's just beautiful. It's that dynamic that I still to this day am like trying to fight to find that type of dynamic, and I've never been able to stretch things the way he does. Shoom. But if you notice, if you go back for a moment after that foot roll, you notice when he after that foot roll that so there like you can see his front foot is turned one direction to get that foot roll, and his back foot is completely different direction. When that comes up and over, you're going to see the now forward foot, you're going to see it twist into place, and it creates just a better line because right now that leg is going over and the right leg is going to the left. And you're going to see when it lands, it twists right there.
Woo!
Boom. And that's what creates that new ability to create that new stretch that he's about to have.
Man,
Yeah.
something that when I first started breaking down Start Cheering, which I'm sure we'll do on Clip Session someday. Uh, when you watch Start Cheering frame by frame, it's Maxie and Mary McCaslin and Volley Weiss and we think Lily Arnold, I believe.
Lillian Arnold, yeah.
And they're side by side doing the exact same moves. And when you go frame by frame, you see Lolly, sometimes his arms over here and his legs over here and his head's kind of over here. And so like picture it looks great in motion, but frame by frame, yeah, it can look a little janky. Maxie, like frame by frame, Maxie looks like just like a comfortable, really beautifully three-dimensional shaped dancer. And like you're seeing here with all this frame by frame, like everything he does, his body is still in like a really like a really cool position, a really like organic position, but yet still a dancery position. Like he's always using his feet V to like help him navigate the stretching and the
Mhm.
rotation.
His quality of movement and fluidity is unmatched. And the funny is like about Lolly, like Maxie would always talk about Lolly like he learned like so much from Lolly. But yeah, like we don't really have that much information about Lolly's dancing, but I can't imagine it has this kind of uh flow to it.
Let's, here's this next chunk here. Let's see if I got a good chunk.
Yeah, we're gonna get into so we do a couple little out and ins. This is before he gets into the Lolly section.
So that's him resolving that previous move.
This is going to be kind of building up into some stuff we talk about later with out and in, but something about out and in that again, our generation is still trying to get even close to what Maxie has for out and in. But like you look at the fluidity that Maxie and Caroline have just all the way through. There is no end point. It's just a continuation of flow. But you're going to see a better example of this with like a lot more energy a little bit later in the clip.
One thing I noticed, Mary comes through here, and there's a ball dancer named Marie Fido that some of our listeners probably know about. And Marie Fido was famous for having her hips kind of swing back on the out. The arm kind of stops the partner's spine, and the hips can kind of swing past it. And I just noticed now that
Caroline, yeah.
Caroline is got a little bit of that action going on, and I'm wondering if that's her choice as a follower. Is Maxie like is encouraging that or inspiring that in some way? Or it's just her style.
It might be a little bit of style. Like generally, like I've never heard Sylvia talk about that type of dynamic
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
true. That
So
makes sense.
so the chances are that it's a. I mean, it could be Caroline having watched Marie Fido. So
Yeah,
who knows?
yeah.
This is all around that time period where Marie would have been on a lot.
Something about Maxie, I noticed like Maxie has a lot of micro hip movement, right? Like it's not like his hips are just like glued in, just like cemented into place. And so like as he comes around here, right here, there's tiny little bits of sway and swing, almost like what you would expect. The kind of stuff that he does in his mess around on a really tiny scale.
If you watch that moment right here, but what Bobby's talking about is that Maxie's using kind of a little bit of a push off the floor, but you see the follow through in the hips with that. So that little push off the floor with the right foot, and that's where the hips can kind of have a little bit of that swing that you're talking about. Doom, 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 doom.
Wah!
And those are just like some casual out-ins for him. Like this flow, like is right now, it's just in between things. You see him look around, because social dance awareness, kind of looking around at like for space,
Which is great. Oh, that's another interesting thing. Like when you watch this whole clip, first off, Maxie's all over the dance floor. But he's also not running into people or bumping into people. So he's clearly like managing space really specifically.
Yeah, the next moment right after that, like when he's going to the Lollies, like it gets a little crowded and then clumped, but then he finds his space again. And right now, like in the front, John and Ann Mills are like showing off because like the camera and the spotlight is right there. And that's really this corner is the show off corner because the spotlight's on there. And so that's what you get a lot of Bob McGees is like you get an area where people know they're being recorded. Later in this not this today's version, but in this sequence when Maxie's dancing in the background, same type of flow, but he's not in the spotlight, so you'll see some different movements. But yeah.
I'm noticing Caroline's arm is up across his shoulder, and Maxie's arm is pretty far around her back. Almost pretty close to what it would probably be for his pure bow. Or his hands around her back pretty far, hands at least on the middle of her spine.
Yeah, one thing that Caroline was always like talking about last year, when she was kind of telling me some memories of dancing with Maxie was always like, be close, get close, like get in. So there's very much like a be against me, be inward type of thoughts of that. That might have just been Balboa versus swing, but that was a very vivid memory for her. So I wonder how much of that is in moments like this, why that upper body might be staying a little bit more in where the hips can have that swing to it.
I know this is a tiny thing, but as he comes around, his hand just does a little sprinkle, just a little readjustment hand.
Yeah.
Some of the old timers, you can look and you can see tension in various parts of their body because they were street dancers and they didn't, necessarily work on relaxing certain body parts. And so some of them are a little clamped or a little tight. But Maxie just shows so much a relaxation and like the way his elbows are constantly kind of like rising or falling as a way that you can see how relaxed they are as he's moving through the space. And like his hand kept doing that little flourish, I think is a sign of him just kind of like keeping everything chill.
Mm-hmm.
Shall we?
Shall we? We shall. So like in this sequence, as Bobby's setting this up, there's a little moment of while we get into Lollies, there's like little they like so it gets run into, and so Maxie readjusts. But the interesting thing, so original dancer lollies and modern dancer lollies are different.
Yeah, pretty different.
So one of the things you'll see here is first off, Caroline is taking steps through on the inward part. So there's like a little like brush out, step through, which is a little bit different than what we see sometimes.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's a tap in, but like a lot of original dancers would talk about like Maxie would say like it's kicks in and out because that's what you see in Start Cheering.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see those kicks in and out. So our version of lollies today, modern, is we stop shorter on the inward
like that,
where there's more follow through. Yeah, there was more follow through inwards that you see here more often. Not always, but often.
But you can see here how dramatic that is. How much he's allowing her to wrap in to the arm before he goes back out again.
And with that, you need the leader's left arm moving back further. So there's more movement in that left arm.
Ah, dang it. Sorry. This program sucks sometimes.
You're good. Yeah. So there's a lot of movement in that left arm, but it's equal to the amount that the right hand is moving. So it's really that you're trying to turn both sides equally. So that no one side is powered, so the follower gets like an equal amount of power on both sides, which allows for more of that balance, being able to turn one way or the other. Doom, doom. Which is where you can get like, so you can see Caroline has a little bit more of that tap inward. You get people like Natalie or Natalie Sparza or Ann Mills, who Ann Mills is actually right there, where you get them doing a lot of the step stylings that's harder to do these days.
One of the things that is really evident here is how much Maxie is using that right hand connection to swing his partner through into the open position. And so a lot of time in my brain, I'm kind of like, I see like a seesaw motion where like the hand opens up and then the hand pulls it back, then the hand opens up, which, when I do this on beginner or when I do some like beginner dancers who don't necessarily know what a textbook lolly is, it works really easily because it's like, it's just really connected to their bodies in a way that like the modern kind of closing the door and opening the door kind of lollies doesn't quite get.
I find a lot of modern dancers are kind of dancing the choreography of lolly kicks, where like original dancers are like dancing the torque.
Yeah,
that rotation. They're feeling that rotation. They're dancing that. So it's more about that twist in the movement that they're really locked into, rather than kind of the like you tap here and you brush here type of mentality.
And Maxie also uses his hips. Like he's got that hip swing, even though he's not hip swinging near as dramatically as his partner is. His hips are always linked in with that same swing, which is not something you see from a lot of leaders, especially in the modern era. They're a little bit more just like cookie cutter as opposed to letting their hips swing through.
You can't really see it here. Something that Sylvia talks about, that Max used to talk about, is on Maxie's brushes. So you, like again, like it's kind of get a little cut off right there. But on Maxie's brushes, one thing he was kind of proud of is that he has a loose ankle when that brush happens. So like you see that knee come through, and then that adds a little bit of a snap to the end of that brush. And you can see it on that knee come through. You can almost see that. You can almost imagine right there that little
kind of whips the ankle.
And again, it's not like a wobbly loose. It's just loose enough to get that little bit of that snap with that knee foot combo.
Man, he understood rhythm and percussiveness. Like his taps just have so much like, they got attack. They attack with the rhythm the way that swing attacks. And it's
when he would scat, because again, like thanks to Sylvia with private lesson footage, his rhythmic scat so good. Is his understanding of rhythm, at least in that kind of street dancer kind of way.
You do
yeah. So good.
All right, let's continue. Is this gonna mess it up?
No, but I think we're getting into like crazy out and in section. Doom, ba, ba, doom, ba, doom, ba, doom.
I'm going to stop it right here so that we get his.
Oh, the turn. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love that transition.
Woo!
Just looking, I know I'm gonna look at Maxie in a moment, but like looking at like the use of like the hips in right, first off right there, but right in this transition,
Whoa.
that hip like little rotation and around the corner right here, that little around the corner with that leg,
Woo!
boom, that's a cool transition.
Oh.
Do, 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 boom.
So in the modern Balboa scene, there's uh people are constantly kind of like people are kind of constantly facing their bodies towards each other, and that kind of limits some of the stuff that Maxie was doing because he would allow them to fold into each other and to like just really wrap around each other, which is some of the stuff that we've seen in like the Gilmore clip toss outs and stuff where um their bodies aren't going to like steer together and then stay to get they're not going to find that swing V and stay facing each other in that swing V. Instead, you're going to see Maxie almost come around Caroline,
Just come around.
just come around. So his body. So now they're just kind of like flat facing each other, and physics is spinning him around in that orientation versus the orientation we tend to use today.
So something that Maxi is really good at. It's the and this is a really good example of this. It's Newton's cradle aspect. Like the little metal balls in the desk where that energy transfers one thing to the next. Maxi did a lot of energy transfers. You're going to notice that most out and in is not equal travel within that like out in moment. Like at one point, the follower will be traveling more. At one point, the leader will be traveling more. Sometimes one person travels in more, one person travels out more. But you're going to notice when Maxi comes in right here, he travels more, but then the follower travels out more. So there's an energy transfer that happens between them. Maxi comes in, Caroline goes out. So there's that transfer of energy where the one role is building that momentum and it transfers to the other, and then Maxi has to counter that. But you're gonna see it all over the place when Maxi dances in, boom, ba, doom, and you keep seeing it there. Well, one person will travel more, and then the other person travels.
It can be hard to see if you don't know
Caroline, then Maxi. Yeah.
it can be hard to see if you don't know that you're looking for it because like he is moving, like they're both moving on these out and it's just one is moving more than the other, and sometimes it'll be dramatic and sometimes it'll be really subtle, that difference.
But that allows for a lot more play, a lot more energy, different dynamics in out and in. Uh, uh, Things being equal in out and in is really more of a myth that people kind of carry from beginning classes.
It's
But really, it's really just allowing for a balance overall, not in every four counts.
And it allows for that chain reaction, right? Like
Mhm.
if you're always just equal, it's then everything's just going to keep being equal until
Yeah.
you change it. But if one person moves more, then it's max this person. They move more, than it's max this.
Oh yeah.
And it just kind of creates a chain reaction of flow that you can keep playing and going down the line of the dance with.
There's something that we refer to as like offset and far offset. So a regular offset is like when you're in your basic, right? And like our feet are just kind of offset from each other. And that happens in Bal-Swing when we're apart. We're still kind of in that offset. So like my right foot and follower's right foot will be pointing in between your partner's feet, not in between, but that's where they're pointing that. So that's that kind of basic slight offset. But you're going to see far offset that Max utilizes a lot right here, where now both feet are on one side of the partner. So Maxi is constantly going in and out of regular offset and far offset, which allows for that openness and breathability of out and in. The hard thing is that you see that Maxi has to use that leg out in front of him to be able to control and redirect that. Otherwise, if the foot was directly underneath him, the momentum would get away from him.
Mm.
So there's that like need to be able to use the floor to be able to kind of manage that momentum, which allows him to kind of base just enough to be able to get Caroline around the corner, and then Maxi can move.
Yeah. And then he switches over to this other offset.
Yeah.
Let's see the next chain reaction here.
Classic Maxi one leg. Da. Then we're getting the crazy out and in moment.
Right into toss out.
And we get so crazy that we go back into Wizard of Oz black and white and then back into color.
We'll play that for y'all at regular tempo so y'all can see that. Look so fast now. That's right. That's regular
Is that
tempo.
regular tempo?
That's let's check in really quick on that.
That's much faster than. Okay. Wow, watching it in slow motion really skews my perception of what regular tempo is. That's way too good for that tempo.
Right? Oh my god.
Is this Diminuendo and Crescendo in blue?
This is.
Yeah.
It's Diminuendo and Crescendo in blue by Duke Ellington.
For context, this would at Bobby McGees be considered a jam. Like because a Diminuendo, Crescendo, and Blue, that Marge often played two main songs for jams every Bob McGee's, and Diminuendo, Crescendo, and Blue was one of the big ones. So a jam doesn't mean one couple at a time. It just it's just kind of a jam, and people can go in and out because it's a 15-minute song. So Maxie is jamming right now. But if he gets anybody watching him, he's definitely showing off. Boom. But all of the things that we talked about in this next sequence, I love those little like stall out leg. Boom. All of that. One thing with out and ins is that today's modern scene, and I try to get people away from this as much as possible, is everybody stops on the in. When Maxie never stops. It never stops. Even when he's redirecting momentum, it never stops. There's always a continuation. And so much of the time, both the leader and follower are moving through each other out the other end. So it's just like through and out the other end. And really, like, it's like what I get from Maxie is Maxie kind of brings the follower through his right chest and like opens that door there. You could see. So we're not going around each other, we're going through each other, which is what creates that efficiency and that dynamic. So you're going to see right in the next. So you're going to see Caroline go right through Maxie's chest, out the other side, just all the way through. Oh, they're going to the. I'll head back now. But even then, same thing. Any sort of come around, any out and in through, it just moves through each other. So the in is never an end point. The in is just through. And at the same time, it's like with Caroline just being able to like continue that energy and that flow constantly.
Yeah. And that takes two.
Yeah. Oh, always. Yeah. Without that, Maxie would not be able to do anything. I also do love that there's a behind the back throw out in this sequence.
Yeah. I love so much how with a lot of modern dancers, you'll see the out and in, and then you'll see the come round into a toss out, and they look pretty different. Whereas as you're watching here with Maxie, that out and in just like morphs into the twist for the toss out. And even right before he does the toss out, that first that out and in right here has a little bit of that twist in it. Whee! So he twists her open through that out and in. And then the next time he just turns it into a toss out. And I think that would be really hard for a lot of modern Balboa dancers to do that, because all of a sudden it would be like we're in Lollies now, as opposed to Maxie and Caroline, they can make that out and in twist open and then back with all fluidly within an out and in feeling.
I find it interesting the build up all to that. You mentioned kind of the twist, but like how Caroline does a lot of like rotation in the hips with that, but you're gonna notice that Maxie utilizes that like in the build up to that throw out. Doom, rump, boom. There's a lot of like rotation that Caroline is using through that. Maxie's like, all right, I can work with that. Yeah. Interesting thing about behind the back throwouts that you see in Start Cheering, we see here Maxie doing that, is that a lot of leaders make the mistake of that point where the follower's going behind the leader's back. The leaders try to travel. When Maxie and in Start Cheering, they stay in place for that
on the spot. At 8, you stay on the spot. Yeah.
Start Cheering is where I first really noticed that, because
it makes really obvious.
Very obvious. And then the leader moves. Caroline's having fun.
And just so you know, for those who've been in our classes, that we're not crazy.
We are, but not for that.
Maxie isn't turned away from Caroline. He's not like doing it this way, which would cut off the stretch and make it really hard to do. He's, sideways to his partner, a little curved, but.
And that right shoulder has to open to send the follower behind. That's what gives the follower that momentum and rotation continuation, is the fact that Maxie's right shoulder opened up to that.
Yeah. If you see up there at the top of the screen, you'll see Maxie's hand is doing his old like rise after he pops the turn. His hand rises up kind of around his neck area, the little Maxie hand flourish. I gotta remember I always forget to do that. It's so fun. Just like pop the turn, whoop, throw your hand up behind your neck. Do boop boop.
It's a little peekaboo hand.
Yeah, a little peekaboo. A little hello.
Do magic.
His body is always in a good looking shape, to me, in my opinion.
Yeah. Do boom. Catch. Do.
Woo! She's having a great time.
I would be too.
We all would. We all would be having a great time with these physics being enacted upon us. So this is Maxie, an example of Maxie's stop step. He doesn't end it with the ball change to the side, which a lot of folks learn, which he does do, but in this instance he doesn't do it. Once again, a sign that he's using pieces that he doesn't always put together. It's improvography kind of a step where you just kind of.
Yeah, Maxie always had multiple variations to everything that he did. And again, like Bob was saying earlier, that like they never did things the same way twice. So Maxie, when it comes to these slides, of course, was a master of slides as well. But Maxie had the ability to not only, you could see that he's leading that slide to come back together, so they'd both end up coming back together. But Maxie could do all these things independent of the follower as well. So like it was the ability to not only lead it, but also disassociate that slide from what he was leading. And you see different moments of that in different clips of Maxie.
And one of the things I love, this is one of my favorite, I was telling Nick earlier, this is one of my favorite of his stop steps, because he's doing a thing that I call, for lack of a better word, experiential, crap. I can't remember the term. It's been a long weekend. We're filming this live at Cowbell.
We've done so much.
Oh my God. Nick went straight from like 3 classes, 3 contests, straight into here. I did 3 contests, 3 classes, 2 contests. He had a memorial service. For Marge, take care.
Yeah.
It's been a long day. So experiential aesthetics. That's the word. Experiential aesthetics. So
Crushed it.
Max, one could just do the footwork and slide. It'll look totally cool. But notice how Maxie like draws his body up and like he kind of sucks it all. He's kind of like, "Oh," he gives it that like he puts the
Clench.
emotion onto it. That like this is not just a slide. He's not just hesitating the timing. He's drawing in the timing. He's like really tied to that swing and that sense of hesitation and that sense of pull before the push. And so this is a great example of him doing that. He's not just doing a maxi stop step that you would learn in class. He's like dancing the shit out of that stop step.
Maxie used, and again, this was like the foot roll moment where Maxie uses like that tension.
Tension. That's the word my brain has been trying to find.
Like the tension, but the tension is rhythmic. So like like a lot of times people associate like bounce or pulse with rhythm. That is only one way to communicate rhythm or to show rhythm. But like he uses that tension of moments to draw out and to be timed in such a way where it's always to the music and always flowing. So like it goes right into being able to dance out of it. And you can still feel the rhythm in what he's doing. Even without music playing, you still can sense that rhythm the entire time.
Oh man, now that you mentioned that, I just want to play this clip in its entirety now. I think this fixed it. Did the thing. Did it do the thing? It did not do the thing. Okay. I know how to do this. All right, there you go. Yes. So, you've heard me say it before in these clip sessions if you've been watching. The original dancers, you can tell that they're dancing the swing music without even hearing the swing music. So we're going to watch this and just see how much Maxie Dorf and Caroline swing in this dancing. It's in like everything about the way they move, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
So good. Nick Williams, any last thoughts? Obviously, there's billions of last thoughts we could have about Maxie.
Yeah, they're just things that the original dancers did that we're still trying to grasp. And there were levels and layers. Like we do a lot of stuff. And they're just their movement, their finesse, their rhythmic quality is far and above what we've achieved. Even though we have amazing dancers, they just have things that we can still try to reach for. And these types of clips can kind of educate us that like, oh, we still got work to do.
That's such a great point. We've been like we geeked out about 30 seconds of dancing, which is a good chunk. 1/5 of a song if you're dancing to a 2.5-minute song. 1/5, but yeah. We geeked out about Maxie's dancing. All he does is out and ins, lollies, toss out, and a stop step. And it's just incredible.
Mesmerizing.
It's beautiful.
Like everybody in the back are just watching. You can see everybody just watching, going like, ah, whoa.
Man. All right. Thanks so much, Nick Williams.
Thank you, Bobby White.
Woo-hoo.